I am in the western region of the lower peninsula of Michigan, but I swear you'd believe I was in the Netherlands.
John McGivern's Main Streets thanks the following underwriters.
Remember when the American dream was being able to say, I made that, I built that? Wouldn't it be great if your kids and grandkids chose a career that provides that kind of pride with good pay, but without a ton of student loan debt? A 4-year degree isn't the only path to success. We need talented people to make and build. On main streets everywhere, skilled work isn't a thing of the past, it's a bright future.
In southeastern Wisconsin, there's a village with something for everyone. It's everywhere you look. On every street, behind any door you open. And we want to share it with you. You just gotta see Greendale.
Additional funding is provided by the Friends of Plum Media and the Friends of PBS Wisconsin. Thanks, friends.
'Cause these are main streets. Something about a hometown speaks to me. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. The heart and soul of communities right here on these main streets.
I'm in Holland, Michigan. Holland has been ranked as one of the prettiest, healthiest, and happiest places in all of America. Holland spans 2 counties, and it's on the shores of 2 lakes, Lake Macatawa and Lake Michigan. Holland is also known as a great place to raise kids. It's a great place to retire. And even with all of that, that is not what Holland is most known for. So Emmy, what is Holland most known for?
When most people think of Holland, they think of these, tulips, and for good reason. 5 million tulips adorn the parks and city streets every May during Tulip Time Festival, celebrating the town's Dutch heritage. In fact, Holland began in 1847 when Dutch Calvinists came to America seeking religious freedom. Many were known for the lumber business and furniture making. Today it has a population of 33,000, and 28% of those citizens are of Dutch descent.
Let's talk about this island. Let's talk about the park.
We wanted a way to show off our Dutch heritage here. Sure. People would come and kind of want to see what this Dutch community was all about. Yeah. And one way to show that off is a windmill.
And De Zwaan is the name of?
So it's the name of the windmill. Each windmill has a different name. It's kind of like ships.
When was this originally built?
It was actually parts and pieces of some old mills. Our millwright who was here this spring pointed out there's some pieces of it that date, he thinks, back to the 13th and 14th centuries.
Right. Is this a typical size of a windmill?
This is. Windmills come in all different sizes. Some are shorter than you and I.
Yeah.
We wanted an actual Dutch working windmill, and we added the brick tower just to get it high enough to catch the wind. Yeah. Because we're a little bit off of Lake Michigan here, so we can get some good wind.
This is the wheat that we grind. It's the Michigan winter white wheat. It's a soft wheat grown here in Michigan.
Okay.
And this is what we get. It's a whole wheat stone ground flour.
And they get to go all the way up. You get a great view of the city. We get a lot of confusion when visitors come. The whole cap above the red, white, and blue there will turn around completely depending on which way the wind's coming. Some will say, you know, why isn't the windmill turning today? Why don't you turn it on? Windmills are meant to catch the wind and produce power. And then out here during tulip time, we plant these large fields here, and we plant about 150,000 tulips.
That's full of tulips.
Full of tulips.
And a street organ.
It's very popular in Europe, especially Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium. You'll see them at like markets and things. And this thing's over 100 years old. We're showing just a slice of life in the Netherlands in a historical sense.
Is this a village?
Or a village or a dorp. We're not trying to be kitschy. We're trying to show off our heritage as well. These are our gift shops. So everything from Dutch food, Dutch cheese tasting, wooden shoes you can buy, Delft you can buy.
Oh, I sound just like you now.
Yeah.
Can I have another pair of socks, please? I have a question. See if you get this right. How many blades does that windmill have? It's a trick question.
You might think the answer would be 4, but actually the windmill only has 2 blades. They crisscross. Historically, the Dutch have a reputation of being very frugal, so much that a date where both people split the cost is known as going Dutch. An auction where the price goes down and not up is called a Dutch auction. But my favorite saying of all is what people in Holland say: if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. I wish I was Dutch.
How big is your foot? We are obviously at the Dutch Village. This began when?
The theme park has been since 1958. We started out as that educational, historical kind of thing. Earlier history, when your wooden shoemaker would travel around, he would come to your house and measure up your feet and custom make you.
Custom made.
Oh, here's a wooden shoe in a half size. After I had my kids, it became really important to me to create this environment where 3 generations could come and make some fantastic family memories. So that's really what our vision and mission is now. We took this basis that we had of these historical educational things. Every village had a way house. If you were light enough to fly, then you were guilty of witchcraft. Yeah.
I am not a witch. It's kind of like an award. You're no witch.
Then we just added interactive, fun things to them. We've got a petting farm, we've got the swing ride, a carousel, the street organ, we've got the dancing and the shoe carving and all that. We have 22 different kinds of Dutch cheeses that you can taste and try, every single one. We've got fudge making, and then just next to that, we have stroopwafel cookie making.
So you can take one of these, and then you can start rolling it in your hand like this, just to kind of warm it up.
We make them fresh.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've never seen one really made.
All right, you can shut that if you want.
If you were to go to in Amsterdam, you probably happened over a stroopwafel vendor alongside the road.
Yeah. And they're really like a waffle.
A wafer.
Wafer. And then inside is what?
It's a caramel syrup.
And on a really busy day, how many of these are you going to make, do you think?
A lot.
Can I have a bite?
You can have a bite.
Okay. This is delicious.
The theme park, that started with my dad and my uncle.
Yeah.
But previous to that, we had a tulip farm here in town. In 1922, my great-grandpa purchased the property,
Amazing.
So we're celebrating 100 years this year.
The Holland Museum houses an impressive collection of paintings from the Dutch Golden Age, known to many as the Dutch Masters. Now, Calvinism forbid religious paintings, so artists painted scenes of everyday life. Here's something you may never have noticed. Check out the landscapes. The Netherlands is mostly below sea level, so the artists put the horizon much lower in these paintings than we're used to seeing. Now do you see it?
We start with tulips.
We have a little over 850 different types of tulips alone.
So people are buying the bulbs?
Buying the bulbs and bringing it to their own garden. You plant them in the fall, they kind of hibernate and grow in the winter, so they can bloom in the spring and look absolutely amazing.
When did the shoes in the Delft show up?
That showed up in 1985.
So you create Delft here?
Right here.
In this building?
Yep, right here on property.
This is the only Delft factory in Northern America. We're the only one that does the whole process all the way through. Our clay, our glaze, and paint come from the Netherlands.
They kind of specialize over there.
Sure.
But half the store here was actually poured, glazed, fired, painted, everything right here on site.
So it takes about 4 weeks from start to finish.
It's beautiful stuff.
The beautiful thing about it, that none of them looks the same.
Oh, then
You
it's
know, every piece is individual. It all looks a little bit variation.
Yeah. Let's talk about the shoes.
When we carve, we like to use poplar because it's soft.
Who's looking for that?
A lot of tourists, they'll get them for Dutch dancing to be part of the community. And other people I know love to do like gardening. They're kind of nice for mowing the lawn in. That way you don't get your good shoes full of green goop and junk and all that.
And the wooden shoes will take that easily.
Oh, they love it.
Hose them right off. I didn't know what a wood chip tasted like before. Those are little ones.
Yep, these are little ones. If you want a lot bigger shoe, switch out the templates and cut a bigger piece of wood to go in.
We're gonna get a gift for Emmy's baby. Not sure if it's boy or girl, but these are gonna work perfectly. Come on. Unisex wooden shoes.
Kind of on the wall behind us is all the different size templates you can use.
Number 29. Here we have it. They look bigger than what I'm used to, of course, but not quite as big as these. These are real slip-ons.
From there, we let it sit for 2 to 3 months so it kind of dries out completely. That way it's easier to sand down.
Just not sure where I'm gonna wear them. There's no place like Holland. There's no place like Holland. I have to believe that there's a relationship between L. Frank Baum and the city of Holland.
So it's 1899,
Yeah.
and Frank Baum vacationed here in a little area called Makatawa, and he built a cottage on Lake Michigan, and it is said by his great-great-grandson that a lot of his inspiration came for writing the book. So for example, there was a little girl who lived 2 doors down. Her name was Dorothy. There is a castle just south of Holland called Castle Park, and that castle is very instrumental in obviously the book and in the movie as well. And obviously we have a lot of yellow brick here in Holland, and Holland wanted to honor that history that we had here.
If you take a look at any of these characters, they don't look like the characters in the movie. She looks like my Aunt Agnes, just so you know. So they sure look like the characters in the book. Yeah. I'm in front of Calvary Reformed Church on 8th Street. In 1989, a youth leader began a fashion trend right here that is still going today. What do you think that is?
What's the fashion trend started in Holland, Michigan? The What Would Jesus Do bracelets were introduced here in 1989. You know, it could also stand for What Would John Do? I'm just saying.
Did you know that northern Michigan produces 75% of all of the tart cherries in the country? And you can find most of them right here at the Cherry Republic. They sell only products made from Michigan cherries. It all started over 30 years ago with a cookie. This is it, the Cherry Boom Chukka. Yeah. Oh, for God's sake. Oh my God. Now they have over 200 products, and they give away samples. Chocolate-covered cherries? Are you supposed to just take one? It's the hot. Why? Cherry rhubarb jam. I need a straw. I'm on Holland's Main Street, which is really 8th Street. Holland gets 70 inches of snow each year. And no matter what, the sidewalks always look like this, never any shoveling. Okay, how is that possible?
So we are using heat that's no longer helpful in the electric generation process to heat up the water that then's distributed to downtown. So it's, in effect, free energy that we're using to power the snowmelt system.
We operate what's called a natural gas combined cycle facility. This is the pipe that leaves our power plant with about 6,700 gallons per minute in the wintertime of water heated to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. We start with a combustion turbine. This is what one looks like right here. There's 2 different things going on at the same time. We're taking gas and burning it in those combustion turbines, and they are the ones that are actually making electricity at first. The next step is all those hot gases coming off the back end, and it changes water into steam inside a boiler. We condense the steam back to water, and then going out is the heated up water. Why don't you turn that wheel just a little bit to the right and divert some of that energy that way? Oh, there you go. Hey, you just melted some of that snow, John. You can take that heat.
It's not really snow.
Sure, you just have to use your imagination here a little bit.
How long has this been up?
Since 2017.
Yeah.
And we've actually been able to lower rates in our community as a result of it. And actually next year, this power plant will be completely paid for. We'll pay off the debt of it. Wow. So it's been a tremendous success for our community.
In my mind's eye, this is what I see underneath the sidewalk, just tubing all over this 5 miles.
The tubing, we cover that with sand, and then we put pavers on top of that, and that's what melts the snow up to 1 inch an hour.
Come on, I live downtown Milwaukee, and this is what I want.
We get calls from all over the world that say, what do I need to do to have this? Yeah, not everyone has that opportunity.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job, thanks. Michigan has about 125 lighthouses, and this is definitely the most photographed. It's called Big Red. It was built in 1907 to house a steam-powered foghorn. The light finally got electricity in the 1930s, and in the 1970s it was set to be torn down. But because of a letter-writing campaign done by the citizens of Holland, it was saved. It was saved to be an inspiration to photographers and to painters and to people who just love old lighthouses. I'm inside a MillerKnoll. You may know this company as Herman Miller. Do you know a classic Herman Miller chair? No, you do. Take a look. I just heard you all at home going, oh, yeah, now I know.
Herman Miller started as Star Furniture in 1905. We made antique reproduction furniture, so stuff that was made to look old. And then our founder, DJ Dupree, solicited a loan from his father-in-law, Herman Miller, to purchase Star Furniture Company outright, renamed it Herman Miller, and then by the early 30s had hired an industrial designer and convinced Herman Miller, the company, to make modern furniture instead of what you could call fake antiques, I guess.
Fake antiques. Now look at, that's classic, this man.
Doesn't he look
I
cool?
want to know him.
It's what we think of as like the beginnings of modern furniture in terms of what sort of materials were being used. So tubular steel, masonite, or plexiglass.
I mean, this is stuff that's going to be around forever, it seems.
Yeah, I think that's the goal of modern design, right? If you really solve a problem with the design, it doesn't feel old. They don't look dated because they weren't designed just to fit some period style.
Yeah.
They're designed to solve a problem. It's about supporting you comfortably.
I'm sitting what is known as Wilkes modular seating, but it's really well known as the Chicklet chair. Are you wondering why?
Herman Miller and Knoll were both very well known for modern design furniture brands. So this is a good example of what you're going to see more of, which is a neighborhood within an office environment. We've got other brands that are known for modern design of furniture as well, but also textiles, things of that nature.
So this is not just furniture.
No, it's what you need to create a great place, whether that's a workplace, a home, hospital, higher education facility.
All of it.
Yeah, we try to create spaces that people really love and that help to connect communities. But ultimately, they need to be more desirable because people can work anywhere, and we want to make sure their offices are places that they love. Now you got the best ab workout of your day there, buddy.
There we go. Oh, my Lord. Okay. Hey, Emmy, I would bring you something back, but, you know, you're going to have a baby in about a minute.
True. I guess I can't drink it right now, but I wish I was there because this interesting steampunk still produces some of Michigan's most popular bourbons and spirits. When the company was founded in 2012, the founders dedicated themselves to produce products that are made in small batches, are heavily aged, and feature local ingredients. Okay, John, I changed my mind. Go back, get me the bourbon. Hopefully it's only a few more days before I can drink it.
Say you lived in this area, a storm came through, knocked down a few trees on your property.
Yeah.
You'd probably call a local tree service. There's a good chance we work with that tree service, and the trees will end up here.
Yeah.
About 90% of our trees come from Michigan. We work with various hardwoods. Then once in a while, we'll get some different things come up. For example, this is actually called flaming box elder.
Take a look at that.
We had a couple call us, hey, we got these really unique trees we're about to take down. Do you have any interest? Yep, yes, come our way. Please bring them as fast as you can. So out of this piece of wood, we would get a 17-inch, a 15-inch, a 12-inch, and a 9-inch. Yeah.
That's amazing. How long a process?
Once the bowl is made, from start to finish, about 4 weeks or so, it has to go. Yeah, it has to go through a drying process. So if you feel that, you can feel the moisture in there.
It's almost
what? Yeah.
Now, how many bowls can come out of here a week or a day? Or
so on a typical day, we make 150 to 200,
you do.
800 to 1,000 a week. We have 25 employees.
25.
Yep. We have my mom working hard over here, Jan. It's a family company that my great-grandfather started, so I'm 4th generation.
How old is this thing?
My grandpa had this made in the early 50s.
And still working?
Still working.
Dave, that looks great. Did you go to parochial school? Penmanship is perfect.
So we're a zero-waste company, so we're always trying to come up with different ideas to utilize all of our wood. We utilize every part of the tree. Nothing ends up in the landfill.
Yeah.
Excess wood that can be made into the bowls is made into our utensils, cutting boards, candlestick. Shavings are also dried out for grilling chip bags.
So that's a 20-inch?
This is a
Is that
20-inch.
as big as they get?
Yes, this is
Okay.
as big as they get.
Because that would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? Do you have a bowl at home?
I have several.
You have a few?
A few, yeah.
Do you display or do you use?
Both.
Yeah.
Some of them are just too pretty to use.
That's the truth, isn't it? I'm just saying. How great is that?
So tell me this, Have you ever walked underneath a sand dune? Well, you can in Holland. A quick stroll underneath this sand dune leads to this spectacular view at Tunnel Park. It's one of Holland's 8 amazing beaches. With 2 million visitors a year, Holland State Park is the premier spot for boating, swimming, and fishing. Close by is the Pump House Museum, where you can learn about how people enjoyed these beaches over 100 years ago.
People always want to know where the locals eat. Well, this is where the locals get their ice cream. It's Captain Sundae. It opened in 1980, and it's really popular with people on their way to Ottawa Beach, which is at the state park, or on their way home from Ottawa Beach at the state park. And their signature item is called the Tommy Turtle Sundae. Just so you know, if you don't want to seem like a tourist, all you have to say is, "I'll have a Tommy." Yeah. So we'd love to know about Hope College itself.
Hope College has about 3,300 students. It's a liberal arts college with 4 accredited arts programs. There's about 30 academic buildings and about 25 residential cottages and dorms, things like that.
Do you know when this college opened?
1866.
There's some history.
Yeah, there is. There's lots of history. Hope Rep, 50 years of that.
50 years.
Yeah, started by John Tommy and Don Finn in 1972. And started it primarily because they finally had a theater that had air conditioning. It was the only air-conditioned theater in Western Michigan, and that's why they started it.
Shut the door. So when I knew we were coming to Holland, I said, we've got to talk about their summer rep.
It's one of the main kind of like summer stays, like Peninsula Players, you know, and even working at the Milwaukee Rep as long as I did, everybody always talked about Hope Rep. Yeah, we are an international company. This year we had people from as far as Moscow and Japan. We do have 4 spaces. We have 2 in the DeWitt, we have 1 in here, and then we have the historic Knickerbocker downtown.
At the height of a season, how many people are you working with?
You're looking at 100 to 110 between the acting company and the production team. It's a beautiful town, beautiful surrounding areas. You can find nature if you want it. You can find a good beer if you want it, and you can find some really, really great theater if you want it.
So, and we're swimming in an aroma right here that's remarkable.
This is a good one.
No, this is heaven.
Yeah.
What generation are you that swim with this?
We are 5th generation bakers. My Opa had a bakery in the Netherlands.
Opa.
And then he opened a bakery with another guy in Holland here. My dad bought it in the 70s, and then now we're just continuing to carry on that craftsmanship. The crockeling and cookies that you have, the banket, the currant bulletjes, the pigs in a blanket that we make, very Dutch.
And if you were to describe Dutch bakery, is it less sweet than most?
No, I would say it's the sweetest and the richest with butter.
Really?
And, oh yeah, the Dutch are known for their sweets. That's our specialty.
So what is that called?
Crockelingen.
Crockelingen?
Takes 3 days to make this cookie. We make it scratch every day. We sell tons and tons and tons of them.
And say the name again, I'm sorry.
Crockelingen.
And is that an old recipe?
Oh yeah. Like
From the old country?
Yeah, 30–40% of our recipes are still like my grandfather's recipes. Recipes my father used.
Yeah.
Lots of sugar.
Lots of sugar, lots of butter.
Sugar, lots of butter, lots of milk.
We're in Holland, Michigan. And there's the challah, which I didn't know was Dutch. It's beautiful.
But we also like to celebrate all the different multiculturals in this area.
We also make Irish soda bread here.
You do?
We make Hispanic products.
So you're the youngest of 3?
Youngest of 3. I got 2 older brothers as well. My brother Mitchell, he's the chef of the restaurant.
Okay.
And then my brother Samuel, he is the baker.
He's the baker. Dutch butter cakes?
Dutch butter cakes.
There's the bakery and you have a restaurant.
We have a restaurant.
So was the restaurant first?
The restaurant was first. And then it was like the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. We let that restaurant just be its own big restaurant.
Yeah.
And we still have a bakery over there as well. And then at this location, we do all of your wonderful baked goods, donuts, breads, cookies, pastries. And we also do your hand-dipped double-fried chicken.
The DeBoer boys do it all.
We do.
Holland, Michigan, the perfect combination of old world traditions and modern amenities. No wonder people love it year-round.
There's nowhere else I'd rather be. The heart and soul of community.
This is not comfortable. I need a Herman Miller. I am in Escanaba, Michigan.
No, you're in Holland.
What the? Do you know what I found in my long life? Once you find a pair you like, you lose one.
Hi, John, you're right.
Let's do that again. Then we gotta quit.
John McGivern's Main Streets thanks the following underwriters.
Remember when the American dream was being able to say, I made that, I built that? Wouldn't it be great if your kids and grandkids chose a career that provides that kind of pride with good pay, but without a ton of student loan debt? A 4-year degree isn't the only path to success. We need talented people to make and build. On Main Streets everywhere, skilled work isn't a thing of the past, it's a bright future.
In southeastern Wisconsin, there's a village with something for everyone. It's everywhere you look, on every street, behind any door you open, and we want to share it with you. You just gotta see Greendale.
Additional funding is provided by the Friends of Plum Media and the Friends of PBS Wisconsin. Thanks, friends.
It all finally makes sense to me, what my father used to say. John, you've got big shoes to fill. Little did I know that they were in Holland, Michigan.